throughout Australia. Welcome to 3AW's Round 12 coverage of the 2018 AFL Premiership season.
Cameron shot out the handball. Rain has had a fly from nothing. Got there!
Live from the Gabba, it's Brisbane versus Essendon.
More open here. Kick forward to McKernan, who has all sorts of options. One of them, Fantasia. Hand pass to McDonald, Tippin Woody, who runs in and puts the Bombers in front.
For McDonald's, 3AW is football.
Very good afternoon. Welcome to the Gabba. Glorious conditions. Brisbane and Essendon, both teams out on the ground. Part of 3AW football's coverage. Not forgetting the really massive one tomorrow. The Neil Danaher match, the Freeze MND. We'll be there from midday for Melbourne and Collingwood. Before that, 17th playing 12th. No change to either team, but Brisbane more than competitive throughout the journey so far, especially in the last 4 weeks. And preceding the game at Hawthorn, everyone thought there might be a chance they could get the points. They did, and another opportunity presents. Michael Hurley gets to his 150th game, and Sam Mace gets his 100th for Brisbane. My first time to welcome on the boundary line, setting the scene, Jackie Reid. Jackie, all for Master Builders. Is your builder a Master Builder? And lovely to be working with you on 3AW football.
It's terrific to be here, guys. It's a beautiful day for football, 23 degrees. A possible shower later on, but right now it is very, very hot. That sun is burning down on the crowd. There's a lot of sunscreen being passed around. What is interesting, guys, to note is that the ground staff have been around the boundary twice now, taping up all of the plasmas where they connect.
Yep.
So obviously trying to reduce any sort of sharp edges if the players, obviously as a reaction to Jack Siebel yesterday and obviously the Geelong players earlier in the season at Optus Stadium.
Well observed. Thank you very much, Jackie. Lee Matthews here on a Sunday. This is a lovely red treat for me, Lee. It's absolutely wonderful.
Well, it's interesting, Tony. I'm not sure about where he hit one of the edges. He just hit slap bang in the middle of the sign, which is obviously the hard plastic. Richard, that's what the LED is. So
yeah.
While you've got the LED signs, you're going to have the boundary 10 metres from the fence if you want to make sure that players don't run into it.
That's very true.
The old Waverley days.
Oh, that's right. Poor Waverley. Let's not go into shock about that one. Hello, Matthew.
Good to be here, Tone. Lovely day up here at the Gabba. Looking forward to this game. I think it's going to be a close one. The Lions are pretty good here at home. They've shown a real ability to score quite heavily up here at the Gabba. They're a different proposition here. And the Bombers, they'd love to bounce back. They were pretty ordinary in the Dreamtime game last week against the Tigers. And yeah, they need to get back to the form they displayed against the Giants down at Spotless a few weeks ago.
We will be going around the grounds as best we can. And Simon back in studio. We'll keep the screens open. If you can give us a little bit of a relay, please, of how the Horn and Crawford title fight is going. We're into the second round for that. Lee, there was a belief that when Hawthorn played up here, the weather conditions and Brisbane starting to get on a bit of a roll, that they could get the points that day, break the duck. They did. Are you of a similar mind today that this is another scalp that's more than gettable?
Oh, absolutely gettable. I mean, Essendon obviously were poor last week. Prior to that, a couple of weeks prior to that against the Giants and Geelong, they were very, very good. Then they'd been ordinary, so you're never quite sure what you're going to get from Essendon. Okay, that's the starting point. And the Lions last week, they've lost every first quarter of the Lions. So they've lost. So the Essendon know that. The Lions know that. So last week they got stitched up early against North Melbourne. Then really they've sort of stabilised in the second half. That's about where both sides are. So when you're talking about when Essendon are 12th on the ladder and Brisbane are 17th, it's basically who can actually put it out there for the day. I mean, if you talk about who's consistently the best, got the highest level, probably Essendon have, but they haven't produced it a whole lot this year.
No, you don't know what you're going to get, and you're not confident with the Bombers. The midfield battles are always fascinating, and when you look at the Lions, Dane Beams last week, a 30-possession, 5-goal game. That's as good as it gets in the midfield. Zorko had been in pretty good form as well. Zaharakis is out for the Bombers, obviously. They've lost a little bit of run there. So you start to think with Martin in the ruck, Zorko and Beams, they might have a little bit of an edge inside there.
You know what they say, Richo?
Yes.
If it bleeds,
yes,
you can kill it. Is that what it was?
That's right.
That's it. That's
right.
Terminator.
Could have used that one today. Don't know whether it would help, but anyway, you could use it.
Lee, just a quick word. Michael Hurley, 150th game, been near enough from the get-go. Once they found his spot as a key defender, he has been some sort of player for the Bombers.
Yeah, wonderful player, and he's been good in defence. The question is, it's a bit like what do the Lions need? They need to mark the ball in their forward line a little bit. That Hipwood and McInerney and McStay. Yeah. Then down the other end, it's not to say that they've got a great marking forwards, but they've got the Tippin Woody, McDonald, Tippin Woody. They've got Fantasia. Those kind of players who need to do well for Essendon to do well.
All right, for the Chemist Warehouse, the opening stages. It is Brisbane and Essendon. best in the business as we start play. Tim Lane.
Thank you, Tone. Brent Wallace sets them in motion, and it's the Bombers footy. Stringer drives them into the 50, but there's no one leading towards it. McKernan led to it by Andrews, who takes a mark, gives off by hand to Rich, who kicks to Christensen, hand pass to Berry. A kick forward is in the McStay direction, knocked away by the 33-year-old and 3-week Brendan Goddard to the boundary for a throw-in.
Yeah, good transition, quick transition from the Brisbane Lions, and Andrews winning the ball back. He's in really good form. He's one of the best defenders in the league at the moment this year.
So it's swinging half forward to the city end of Brisbane. Warm afternoon, no score yet, going a minute for the Chemist Warehouse. There's a free kick off the footy. I think it is going to be going the Essendon's way, and it is. Short play, G Merritt under awful pressure that time, and the ball just knocked out way too easily as they were able to get back the Brisbane
just
defence.
Looking into the Essendon forward line, you've got Hodge on McDonald, Tip and Woody. If it's a foot race, we know he's going to win it. But Hodge will be trying to think his way through that situation rather than make it a foot race.
Ball on the wing. It is in some shade. The rest of it, not so much. We've gone a minute and a half. No score yet. Bell-Chambers flip out the back. Smith can't get it for Essendon. Cutler for Brisbane. A little kick forward. Body on body. Both players go to ground. Shouldn't be a free kick, but there is the non-officiating umpire has found a kick the Bombers' way. Uncertain what that is. Goddard slow play, middle of the ground. Well, not quite the middle of the ground, and it's taken there by Langford.
Who gave to Redmond, back to Langford in traffic, got it to Stringer for his third use already, gives to Merritt, long ball into full forward, but Harris Andrews is there again, and he delivers short and quickly to Gardner, who from just inside the fence at 50 stabs it out to the wing for Brisbane, where Beams receives, and the umpire gets involved and says the ball has to come back to Beams, who had given it off, and he's going to kick it from high at half-back. He goes into the corridor, but quite safely, and Stephen Martin takes a mark.
Yeah, quick hands off Zorko, running Rich, middle of the ground, long to half-forward, inside attacking 50. Running fly to the ball, Brisbane mark, Hipwood's got it, 45 out.
That's the courageous kick, wasn't it? Beams had the ball on the boundary line on the back flank, but you've got to pick your target inside. Going to a ruckman's a good target, Richo, because he's got height just in case you're hanging in the air, but that got it through the centre corridor.
Yeah, it was great too, Richo. Sorry, isn't it great? When one forward's telling it, go long, and the other's saying, kick it to me. It's fantastic.
No, terrific transition there, and it's a brave kick, and that's the beauty of Martin. He can get around the ground, get off the opposition ruckman. He had 5 metres on Bell-Chambers then.
So 45 out, first score of the game. 3 minutes gone. Not quite in crisis, the game without a score after 3 minutes. From 45 metres out, hit it sweetly for a goal. Brisbane away. Hipwood's goal. And there's a minor getting around him, which is always good to see, Lee. Brisbane, a goal. Essendon yet to score, going 3 minutes for the Chemist Warehouse.
You've got to take your chances. They kicked 4 behinds before they scored a goal last week against North. When you set up the chance, as they did, gigantic difference if you can get your 6-pointer, Richo. Gets everybody going.
Yeah, and the defenders have had a good start. Andrews has taken 2 intercept marks. The midfield's got involved. Beams, Zorko, Daniel Rich running off half-back. So all of their good players have been involved early, the Lions.
Richo for Europcar, 3 rounds in the World Championship fight. I'm no expert, but I think our bloke might be getting into a bit of trouble.
He's copped a few from Europcar over there in Las Vegas. He copped a big right hand there from Crawford. End of the 3rd round. He's still standing, though.
Umpire O'Gorman bounces, and Stephen Martin gets a kick out of the middle. Wide to no man's land. First man there was Cutler. He was tackled, taken to ground. A pack forms over him, and there will be a ball up 65 from Brisbane's goal. The Lions with the only score, a straight kick from Eric Hipwood. Look-alike of Rafa Nadal, who's playing in the French Open final. Surprise, surprise tonight. Except Hipwood's about twice as tall and half as thick as Heppel kicks to the wing for Essendon. McKernan front posse. This time his arm was chopped by Harris Andrews. It's an Essendon free kick. I'm not sure that Richo is entirely convinced the free was there. Short ball to Devon Smith. Hand pass to Heppel. Hand pass over the top to Stringer with zinc cream on his nose. Hand pass to Merritt. Centering ball with the left, and Bagley didn't quite hang on to the mark. Looked to have it for all money. And the Lions defence closes in. And they're able to clear the ball through Bailey out beyond the 50. Bombers might bring it back in. The 150 gamer Hurley gets off a hand pass, and now the ball's poked in the Heppel direction, and he marks 45 out straight in front. And there's a chance to kick Essendon.
Geez, Richard, I reckon you'd be getting a lot of free kicks if you were playing in the modern era, because one of the things the umpires are really doing is trying to protect the guy who's going for the mark from the spoiling attention. We wish they'd do that for the ground level ball, Tim, but they're certainly doing it for those aerial contests.
The defenders have got nothing really anymore, unless they make clean contact with the ball. They've got nothing, and that's nearly impossible there.
Bombers to the primary school end in the first quarter, the eastern end of the ground. Heppel from just outside 50 gives it a big boot, and I reckon he's done it. It has been touched on the wrong side of the line. From Brisbane's point of view, it's a goal, and it's 1 goal apiece on the Chemist Warehouse scoreboard after 6 minutes.
Yeah, just got the distance, Dyson Heppel. I reckon the goal umpires in the last couple of weeks have gone back to backing themselves in. I reckon a few weeks ago they would have gone conservative on that and checked it upstairs. So back yourself in. Good to see.
Goal each. Chemist Warehouse bringing you the first quarter. CR7's the fragrance. Cristiano Ronaldo. It should have been an LM3 so they could smell like you did, Lee, back in the late 70s. It'd have been a working man's smell, wouldn't it? Wouldn't be that European stuff.
Would have been a bit of Old Spice sort of style.
Yeah. The essence of Langwarren back in the middle of the ground. The tap that time, Martin. It goes forward. Oh, neat pick up Green quickly to Heppel. The pass is on, and I love it too. And getting out, taking the mark there was McKernan, 35-40 out. Beats me why this bloke isn't in the team all the time, Sean McKernan. Wiser heads than me, though, would know. 40 out. And since he's got back, Matthew, got to say he's making the most of all opportunities.
Yeah, he's making a contest. I reckon Andrews just guessed there. I think he was guessing that Heppel was going to go long, and Heppel had the ability to lower his eyes, and McKernan was 10 metres in front of him. That was just a defender guessing.
7 gone first quarter. Goal each. McKernan of Essendon to break the deadlock. Dead in front, school end. From 49 metres, gets it high. Is it pushing a little? No, it's not. Goal. 2 goals to the Bombers, 1 to the Brisbane Lions. And we're 7.5 minutes into the quarter. And what's even noticeable this early in the game, Matthew and Lee, they have not a lot of tackling and hard pressure. It seems free-flowing compared to some of the others we've seen this weekend.
Well, kicked 3 goals in the first 7 minutes, so the ball's going back to the middle a lot. We've often said it's amazing how good the game becomes as a spectacle if you're accurate with your conversion, because you go back to the middle all the time.
I reckon the games up here at the Gabba that I've seen this year are more open games. I don't know what it is about the Gabba. I don't know if it's the way the Lions play and they have more opportunities to go fast, and the opposition does as well, but the games up here have been pretty good.
Jackie Reid on the boundary.
Yeah, down here, Devon Smith is having his Achilles or sort of lower calf looked at down here. He's trying to stay out of the sun, and he's at the back end of the interchange bench, but he didn't look too happy with it. He's just done a few run-throughs.
That would be a worry for the Bombers. He's been a very important player for them. Jackie reporting for Master Builders as the Lions go forward. Lewis Taylor swings a left footer. The forward pocket, big pack up, no one able to mark. It's out to the boundary and will be thrown in about 20 metres around from the left behind post. Essendon 2 straight, Brisbane 1 straight. They're kicking accurately despite the fact that the goalposts here at the Gabba are quite tall, Richo.
Yes, they are, Matthew.
Yeah, I'll stick by that, and I will while I'm standing.
Not sure who's more convincing, you or Lingy, with the fingers in the damn walls as McLuggage tries to come through. One it out, Mays, handball. Another one to Keys, around the body. That time Essendon have to work hard defensively. Green had it, more or less slung it away, but it fell to the arms of Merritt. Merritt got the ball out neatly that time, and Guelphy just moves it to the wing. Now the Bombers can go forward, although just deciding to wait hard. And it is Stringer at half-back to the wing, kicks it out on the full.
He started pretty well. I know he smucked that kick up, but I reckon he's had 5 touches.
He's running that hugging the boundaries, and you think 5 metres in from the boundary is just as good as a metre in from the boundary.
One of those things about even opposition supporters like to jeer Jake Stringer. What is it about him, Richo?
Oh, he's just one of those players. They attract attention.
So Brisbane get the ball back at half-back, Tim. Series of handballs, unconvincing. Harris Andrews been forced way backwards. Little handball's okay. And they can move it to centre half-back and do so sufficiently. And Leicester, half-back defensive, has it. Looking to get into the corridor and able to do so. It is Essendon by a goal. That's a bad kick. Chance for the Bombers to bang him on the rebound. If Mice can get there, he can't. Brisbane won it back. Handball from Bailey, and he'll set Rich free.
He waits his kick very nicely to an advancing Mays, who kicks to a leading forward in Martin. And he's taken a mark 40 out as good as directly in front.
He's a good mobile ruckman, Martin. I think Belchambers might be okay in the ruck contest, but in the movement around the ground, he can play as that extra midfielder, Martin. He's been terrific in that. But as soon as they, again, got back through the middle, Richo, and that were able to... Could they find the free target inside 50? That was always the challenge.
And this is a worry because twice now Martin's led Belchambers into the ball and marked.
Man on the mark, wouldn't be 35 metres out. Martin comes in and puts it through. So it's 2 goals apiece. Bit of a shootout here in the early stages at the Gabba around the grounds in Las Vegas. Jeff Horn is being roughed up by the challenger Crawford, and with about 40 seconds left in the fifth, he is just doing it a bit hard at the moment. Let's get to Jackie Reid for Master Builders on the boundary here at the Gabba.
Good news for Bombers fans. Devon Smith is run right back out there just now. Kyle Langford just got a little cut on his head cleaned up, and the Lions have been busy on their bench too. They just tipped over by accident a gallon of Gatorade. It's everywhere, so there's ice all over the ground there. They're trying to clean that up frantically.
Would you lick the ground if you're thirsty? Mix of Gatorade and grass there, Richo.
If I was really desperate, Tone.
Yeah. Back in the middle, 2 goals each for the Chemist Warehouse. Stringer, just bounces straight off Keys of Brisbane. The younger stayed on his feet. Weight of numbers, Essendon around the footy. Lee means we get a stoppage middle of the ground.
Yeah, the centre bounce clearances are critical, particularly if you can take the ball out the front of the centre square, almost through the centre corridor, down a very short ground.
Martin, the tap, Christensen came through. McCluggage won it for Brisbane. Hyder half forward. Chance this time, and a big grab it was McStay. And it's certainly within distance as 3 or 4 blokes put their hand up. And even from this distance without the binoculars, they don't really want to kick to them.
That was a good contested mark, and some of their young, tall players are starting to develop now, the Lions.
To break the deadlock, McStay. Well, I thought I said it was within distance. Does it sneak through from one behind?
He was heading. He was heading Richo to about, what would you say, the forward flank, trying to kick the full forward.
So Essendon nervously get out of from the kick in 13-12. Brisbane by a point. Essendon streaming down the ground.
They do get out. Fantasia goes for a run, has a bounce, did it all under pressure, and the kick reflected that. It was poor out near the boundary. Gardner elects to keep it alive for Brisbane. He shot off a hand pass. He got it back. He gives to Rich now. Now to Harris Andrews, who's up near the wing. He swings it forward where it clears the 2 men who were one out. Berry gets down on his knees to try and prize it out. In fact, it comes out the Bombers' way. Hooker's got it. He's tackled. He shrugs the tackle. He gets a little kick forward. It's no good. Keys has got it. Gives to Martin. Now to Rayner. Now to Berry. And Brisbane are dangerous. McStay's got it again. Tackled as he kicked. The kick was poor. Near the behind post. Bombers cover it. Goddard receives and he gives a hand pass off, and Essendon are out of trouble towards the wing.
Yeah, Dee's kick went long, but they're going to come back as Leicester on the end of a handball. Got it to Christensen on the wing broadcast. Or Vulture Street side can go wide and slow, and it's okay as Witherden comes up the ground, Lee, and will slow it down at the moment. A big part, it's still 12 points each.
It was a quick rebound. Essendon had a lot of defenders back, so this is where most teams will try and go in with a bit more precision.
So, a little grubber along the deck. McCluggage got it again. Good start to the game. He's gone wide. It was a good kick, and Cutler, genuine improver in the game's taken the mark, 55-60 out. Too far out to score, I would have thought.
So that composed the ball. When the ball comes out of a congested back 50, if you kick it straight back in, you're outnumbered because there's already congestion there. So they did a good job then, the Lions, to identify that, and they've gone pretty much around the 50-metre line to set up this shot at goal.
The main scoreboards are wrong. It is, as I thought, Brisbane by a point. So long kick for Brisbane toward goal, pushing left that time. And one behind results. Cutler got plenty on it then, Richo. 2-2-14 Brisbane. Essendon 2 goals. Chemist Warehouse scoreboard as Tim Essendon go very short on the kick in, and they're going to muck it up.
Cutler chopped off Goddard's kick about 46 or 7 metres from goal. Out on the flank. It's a long testing shot, but he looks hell-bent on giving it a crack as he goes back a long way. He's almost in Ben Brown territory, out near the wing. So he's going to have the long charging approach. You would think eventually he just comes in. purposefully. Now he accelerates. He kicks from well outside 50. He's got the distance, but he's very much to the near side. A minor score. Brisbane looking a bit the better at the moment. 2-2-14 to Essendon. 2 goals straight on the Chemist Warehouse scoreboard.
Yeah, but their scoreboard is missing a behind. It's actually 15-12 now in favour of the Lions. Essendon go long towards the wing. Stanley Street side. The runner is there. Guelphy, the handball. Good tackle on Bagley. It stops any further advancing. Ball on the wing. And Brisbane cracking in hard, and there is a holding.
That was the deliberate duck your head forward, and therefore no prior opportunity after that. I'm not sure whether he was down or he ducked, but nevertheless, that was the umpire's call.
So Guelphy's got the ball, just defensive side of the wing, outer side of the ground. Goes very, very wide. Myers the target there. Andrews, sorry for dropping the Harris there, but he did it nicely. Patted it into the park of the Zorko. They're going to knock it round defensively, Brisbane, but they're going to come up with it. Mays, the 100-gamer for Brisbane, sees a man 35 up the ground. They can raffle at Brisbane. Plenty of room to move through. Louis Taylor.
Yeah, Martin left it for Taylor, who has a man loose up towards half forward. McStay, he dabs, he overshoots Berry, but it might work as Berry turns and runs onto it and then fumbles. Goddard cannon into his back, not paid a free kick. In the right forward pocket for Brisbane. Berry arrives, having pushed the ball in that direction in the first place, and he's part of a contest that takes the ball over the line, and there'll be a throw in 20 around from the right behind post. It's Brisbane 2-3 tone, 2-3-15.
Correct.
To Essendon 2 straight goals, regardless of what the scoreboard is telling us.
Or irregardless. Forward pocket, Brisbane into attack. McInerney, the tap for Brisbane. Front of the pack can't get there. Handball actually out for Essendon. Went to Myers, the kick. Trying to find a man there at halfback. That was Brown of Essendon. Ball's on the deck at halfback. Essendon trying to move it on. Brown involved again. Had it, lost it in a tackle. Play on the call. A little one from Leicester puts the ball 40 metres out. Brisbane, though, can't get away that time. Well done, Devon Smith. Has gone to Green. Lovely to note there's a bit of rivalry. Josh Green was kicked out of the club 3 years ago, and clearly they're blaming him for that. And he can go short and wide. And McDonald, Tip and Woody. And Richo, reveal what we saw with Tip and Woody earlier today at about 11:15.
He was out here on the ground, no one else in the stadium, and he was kicking the footy around. I haven't seen a player on the ground earlier than that, so he should know the conditions to tip up.
Brisbane by 3 points, Tim. We're at the 18-minute mark, first quarter.
He went backwards. It's in the defensive 50, but in safe hands. Hooker kicks out to the wing, and D for Essendon with a short kick finds Redmond, who is between half-back and centre. He goes to Goddard, who's getting a lot of the ball, playing that link-up kind of role. And this is about as far advanced as he's been, almost up in the middle of the ground. He chips a little pass to Myers, who's in the centre circle. Back towards McDonald, Tip and Woody, forward of the wing. Gee, it's a laborious build-up by the Bombers, all done by foot here, and there's a 50.
That was the Bailey, who was actually in the protected zone but didn't run at right angles out of the protected zone, which is what you have to do. I mean, that's just bad play. I mean, you might say it's officious umpiring, but it's also poor play by the player, because you know you can't run straight through the protected area.
Oh, Tim scores a level, 29 minutes grand final. What if it happened?
Oh, don't.
Hey, it could. If a player's dumb enough to do it, it could happen, Tone.
Yeah. Gilbert and Sullivan did ask the question, does the punishment fit the crime?
Oh, that's a separate issue altogether.
Yeah.
They were onto something, though, Gilbert. They knew their footy. As the man on the mark is about 11 metres out, the angle is very slight. And McDonald, Tip and Woody comes in and puts the Bombers back in front. 3 straight goals to 2-3-15. Got a game here early, and it's attractive to watch. Hey, and it's all on the Chemist Warehouse.
In the old days, Rich, you dragged that play, which is young Zach Bailey, just to say, mate, you've got to remember this. Make an issue of it, because you just can't keep doing that. And sometimes the best way to learn, you'll be back on in a couple of minutes. But these days with the automatic rotations, that coaching method is gone.
Would you say to him, Lee, what if it happened 29 minutes into a grand final?
I just say, mate, you've got to remember, you've got to get out of the protected area. Keep your concentration, keep yourself focused.
Yes, Matthew. Go around the ground for
Las
Europe
Vegas Europe car. Dan Raphael from ESPN, respected judge, after 6 rounds, has it 60-54. Crawford doing it easy over Horn.
Thank you.
Good round of ground,
you're going to give us bad news. Can you give us an alert? Back out of the middle, Connor McKenna. I knew I'd get there eventually. Goes to Langford on the wing. Stanley Street out of side. Hairpel tackled by Zorko. Good stuff. And forces an errant handball to the boundary line, and it's out of bounds. 2-3-15 Brisbane. trailing Essendon 3 straight 18, all for CR7 from Cristiano Ronaldo. The Real House of Fragrances, Chemist Warehouse. So the ball's tossed into play, Tim. Essendon barely in their attacking 50 outer side.
McInerney and McKernan do battle. It falls to Heppel. Kicks forward. Good mark, and it's your man, Tone.
Harris Andrews.
The double-barrelled man. He kicks out towards half-back, and he places it pretty well for Leicester, who's mown down by Bagley, playing that defensive forward role, and he wins a free kick for holding the ball, and the Bombers will come again. Bagley's kicked it within 20 of goal. McKernan, Stringer takes the mark. Fine mark. That's the Jake Stringer Essendon fans want to be seeing, and it looks as though after a pretty mediocre start to his new career, during which he just didn't look to have settled into his new club, he's starting to play some good footy.
Well, career high possessions last week against Richmond. I think he had 29 and plenty of contested, and I think he had 10 or 11 clearances. Didn't kick a goal, so they'd love him to hit the scoreboard without Stewart there today.
The Bombers fans want to see the exploding package. He comes in and he drives it through emphatically. Essendon 4 straight. Brisbane are 3-3-21, so it's the Bombers by half a straight kick.
It's interesting, when the defences are swapping opponents, the tallest player in the forward 50 for Essendon at that point of the game was Stringer. But somehow or other he ended up on Withenden for the one-on-one contest. That's where Harris Andrews, they can't swap quick enough. A long high ball into the back 50, Harris Andrews should mark. But if he's not at the contest, clearly, then you've got medium sizes all around them.
Tone, I'll do the correction of the score that I gave. The scoreboard had tried to fix up Brisbane's score, but they'd added 1 to the goals column, not to the behinds. It's in fact 4 straight Essendon, 2-3 Brisbane, and the margin is 9 points Essendon's way.
Scoreboard man. Have we got another one? Middle of the ground, McInerney, Brisbane, good decisive tap. Bailey picked it up. Long to fall forward. McStay at the back. Oh, he can't complete the mark. Well done that time by D. Forced the ball to the ground. Brisbane with the numbers. McCluggey just got it round the body across the face, and bounces out of bounds. Forward pocket left at the little scoreboard. City, or what used to be known as Southside Toyota, end of the ground. What happened to Southside Toyota? Lee?
That's Southside Toyota, I think you mean the one in Brisbane?
Yeah, it's like Yarra Valley and Croydon Toyota's equivalent.
That's the one, yeah, that's the equivalent up here.
Thank you very much. Out of the ruck, McKernan took it, threw it on the boot quickly. Danger for the moment, over for the Bombers. Might be coming back in a matter of moments as Rich picks it up 55 metres out. Oh, great tackle that time then by Tip and Woody. He could not advance, couldn't release the ball, and as a result, Richo, we get a stoppage. 55 out, Brisbane's goal at the moment. It is Essendon by 9 points, 23 gone in the first quarter.
Haven't seen a lot of stoppages today.
It falls to Berry, who got a hand pass to Bailey, who got a hand pass to Hodge. Tackled on his kick. It was a skidder into the 50. It's in traffic. There's a bit of congestion going on. There's a Brisbane free kick within range, and Christensen will be the recipient.
That's where the Essendon have had a few shots from close in. That 50-metre penalty, the Stringer mark. You can't miss from 15 metres out. This is the distance, Richo. He's going to kick from about 40, but very gettable. The other shots have been out near the 50-metre line, which a lot of long shots tends to end with a lot of long behinds.
Christensen took a serious knock last week, but has been able to take his place. He pushes this wide out near the far behind post and off hands. It's through for a behind. Essendon 4 straight 24, Brisbane 2-4-16. I know it's unprofessional, but when there's an Aussie in a world title fight and the screen is right in your eye line as you're watching the footy, it is very distracting.
Yeah, he's hanging in there after 8 rounds, but he's down on points.
Yeah, as Belchamber's got a push in the back. Not for some. Some are concentrating on what we've been brought up here to do, as opposed to you, Richo.
No, I'm watching both.
Yes, you are.
Multitasking.
Let's just say it is Essendon McGrath taking it at half back, and they get a stoppage in play.
I'll watch the footy. You guys watch the fight.
Thank you, Jack.
Okay?
Thank you, Jack. Let's just say the expression, hey, Richo, listen.
I've heard that before somewhere. Where'd that one come from?
Yeah, heart as big as far-lapping game as Ned. But, the boy's losing his title. As Brisbane move it forward, but McGrath, well done. Got it to Sard. Sard, a high kick outside defensive 50. Richards there, tries to knock the ball forward. Tip and Woody, got to beat 3. Picked it up through the high tackle. Well done, Anthony. McDonald, Tip and Woody. Outnumbered at the contest. They can boo all they like. It's red hot. Well done winning the free kick at half-back. Essendon 24, Brisbane 16. Chemist Warehouse scoreboard, Tim, and we're 25 into the first quarter.
Bombers take it back into the 50. And now they advance as Redmond delivers short to Merritt. Back to Redmond, who kept running to provide a short target. He's got it between half-back and wing. We'll go around the grounds to Richo shortly. They're into the 9th round. And for the stake of our the sponsor of the 3AW Footballer of the Year Award, Rain and Horn, we're really with the Aussie, Jeff Horn, as the Bombers go wide to Merritt. But it overshot him, and it goes bouncing over the line for a throw-in just forward of the wing for Essendon. The Bombers 4 straight goals. The Lions 2 for 16. Brisbane have had more scoring opportunities, and I would venture to say quite a few more entries, but haven't been as accurate around the sticks as the Bombers.
Right in front of the 3AW 5AA 6PR commentary box. Sunday football for McDonald's across Australia through 3AW. At Brisbane clear it. McCluggage goes toward half forward. Hodge waits. Ball ricocheted to him. A little one from Lewis Taylor. Now he's got the ball to Nick Robertson. Something normally happens, unpredictable, and the ball's been turned over. McKenna won it back, middle of the ground for the Bombers. Long kick, vacant goal square. Gardner's got to get back, pick it up, don't concede, got away from Stringer, and then he can go short and effectively, one of the two. And Rich has got the ball. 24 to 16, 8-point margin, 26 gone. Essendon leads. All on the Chemist Warehouse. And Crawford well and truly on points as we're in the 9th round.
Rich high ball, doesn't carry to the wing. Bell Chambers up in front for Essendon. Falling ball with Smith for the Bombers. Hand pass to Langford. Quick kick into the 50, but Witherden did well in front of Stringer, who was trying to reach around him to make a spoil, but Witherden held on to the mark. That 5 metres inside the defensive 50. Kicks towards the wing, very wide, hugging the boundary line. In fact, he did more than hug it. He got the arm right around it. It went over, and it will be a free kick to the Bombers. Bell Chambers takes it. He kicks into the 50. It comes off a pack to Berry of Brisbane. Tackled, stripped of the footy, picked up by Josh Green, scrambled a kick, fell into the arms of Cutler, who takes a mark between fullback and half-back. And Richo, there are developments in Vegas.
Yeah, it's been stopped just at the end of the 9th round. Crawford has won.
So, and there's a game performance from Horn, but a class gulf there. Merritt won it back, middle of the ground, gets to Sard of Essendon, can short play it to Hurley. All players now in Essendon's attacking half. It's an 8-point margin, 27 into the first quarter. He goes short to McGrath. Essendon just starting to open up a little bit easily at the moment. McGrath able to run around, and then he's well done that time by Berry. The kick was bad. Ended up with Nick Robertson, who went to Rich, and he can go wide. And at half-back, it is McStay, who's working a long way down the ground for Brisbane. On the lead that time, Christensen, the 3 grabs. Now was the last one. In fact, Jackie, you're down there. Was that last catch by Christensen well and truly inside the line?
It certainly was, just inside.
Any injury updates, please, for Morris Blackburn lawyers?
Clean bit of health so far. All the players are coming off the ground looking spent, though. They're rushing for the ice towels, trying to cool down. The sun is very hot.
Yeah, it is very much like it was against Hawthorn up here as we get quarter time. Much to the relief, Jackie, I imagine, of the players out there.
Yeah, they look really, really tired, to be fair. They have been going, as I said, for the ice towels, trying to keep cool, sitting in the second row of the interchange bench, well out of that sun.
First quarter brought to you by the Chemist Warehouse and CR7 by Cristiano Ronaldo. It is the house of all great fragrances. Essendon 4 straight 24 over the Brisbane Lions, 2 for 16. And Essendon certainly the honours, and we'll get Lee and Matthew to sum it up, but they appear to have been just that a little bit sharper and have set up an 8-point lead at quarter time. All thanks to McDonald's and the new Grand Big Mac at McDonald's, available after 10:30 for a limited time only right across Australia. You are listening to 3AW Football.
This is the 2018 Toyota AFL Premiership season. This quarter brought to you by Chemist Warehouse, the home of real brands and real savings.